Hey everyone, welcome to the Industry Leader Fast Track webinar with Infopreneur Agency. I'm here with Cheri, one of the most successful salespeople in the world, definitely one of the best I've ever seen or met in my life. She is going to share with you how to crack the code, the personality code that is within all of us to help you close 3 times more sales and get 3 times more yeses with whatever you do in your business. So, of course, that's really helpful for you, really valuable for you to be here. And I appreciate every single one of you being here right now. Go ahead and get a piece of paper if you don't have it, a big notepad actually, and a pen to take lots of notes. This is going to be really valuable. Anytime you can get more yeses, it's going to help you, grow your business, accelerate your success very quickly. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Cheri. Cheri, go ahead and take it away. Thank you again for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Omar. So for those of you that are listening live, you get a live interaction here, and we're going to have some of the chat boxes going where you can make comments and ask questions. And for those of you that are watching the recording, well, you're in for a real treat. You want to pay attention to the end. What I'm going to reveal to you is the secret behind how to predict buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. So imagine if you could figure out exactly what to say to get a yes from your customer in less than 90 seconds, okay? And so that's the secret behind this. The presentation is Why They Buy. It's the name of my new book. You can see that in the background right there. And the secret sauce that I use is a program or a methodology and a technology called BANK, B-A-N-K. And what this webinar is going to do is unlock the secrets, the science, and the system to supercharge your sales up to 300%, okay? So Omar gave me an introduction. My name is Cheri, and have a 20-year track record in sales. Our methodology is spread into more than 40 different countries around the world. We have 150 licensed and certified trainers. We're looking for more great trainers. If this resonates for you and you're interested in that, you can certainly let us know for an application. And it's the #1 personality-based sales training in the world. Now, what this is designed to do, as I mentioned, is increase your sales, your conversions up to 300%. So imagine tripling your success rate. That's what BANK has the power to do. Now, according to Salesforce.com, they said that 67% of salespeople, business owners, entrepreneurs miss their quota. 87% do not feel prepared for their appointments, and 66% of your customers are turned off by your presentation. And this, unfortunately, is the tough side of sales. This is what sometimes has sales get a tough reputation, right? But if you want to be one of the highest paid people in the world, then you have to embrace sales. As a matter of fact, Robert Kiyosaki said the ability to sell is the #1 skill in business, okay? Now, here's the challenge with most traditional sales training, is I found that our average client has been completely misled and brainwashed into believing one of the greatest lies ever told in sales. Ask yourself if you've ever heard sales is a numbers game, and that in order to get more yeses, you have to get more, you could probably fill in the blank, no's. And when you stop and think about that, that is the definition of insanity. The truth is, to get more yeses, you actually have to get more yeses. And I'm going to show you a proven way to actually get more yeses by the end of this webinar. So the secret, if you're taking notes, is that sales is not a numbers game. It is a people game. And that's really the secret to success. Brian Tracy said, all business is a people business. So today during the webinar, I want to ask, is it possible for one idea to change the world? And if you're participating live, you can answer it in the chat box. When I ask you a question, answer it. We've got some people live that are going to interact with you. And the answer is yes, of course. There's been a lot of ideas that have changed the world. But this one idea that I'm introducing to you has the power to change your world forever. And it's a 4-letter word called BANK. Now, what is BANK? BANK is personality-based, meaning it's rooted in the principles of the 4 personality types. But before you prejudge it, it has a very powerful twist we've applied in the sales process, allowing us to predict buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. BANK is people-focused because that's the secret to success, and BANK is profit-driven because we want you to be more profitable and more successful than ever before. And so making money is core to your success and survival as an entrepreneur. Now, bank, and the book I wrote here, Why They Buy, if you don't have a copy of it, make sure you pick up a copy on our website, whytheybuy.com. But this is the only methodology in the world that has been scientifically validated to predict buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. So again, just imagine what could become possible if you could do that. So I want to show you what's possible and what my real numbers are, my before and after story with and without bank. So without bank, I really struggled in sales. I was working in a full commission model. My first year, I made $700. I was basically the worst person on the team. And over a 5-year period and studying every sales training I could find, my income went up to $72,000. But it still felt like there was something really significant missing. And there was something that was broken. And what I discovered, what was broken was not me, but it was actually the system. And what was missing, I called the missing link. And that missing link I called bank. So I decided, once I discovered what was missing, to build an experiment to see if it would in fact work on my sales. And within 1 year of using bank in the sales process, my income jumped to over $500,000. So imagine a 695% increase in revenue by simply applying this methodology. You know, ask yourself if you would do that. And within 3 years, my income was over $1 million a year. And my whole life changed. You can see here's one of the Success from Home magazines. I'm right there in the middle, Cheri Tree. It's a little blurry. I don't have a high resolution here. But it shows my income at $2.9 million. 33 years old, making ridiculous income. So if you're chatting in the box right now, type in there if you're someone who would like to experience that type of an increase this year, write the word yes, okay? So I couldn't keep it a secret any longer, and I became very passionate to share this with business owners and entrepreneurs all over the world. And I started sharing stages with millionaires like Robert Kiyosaki and billionaires like Sir Richard Branson. And I speak with a lot of the greats like Les Brown and Tony Robbins and Susie Orman, and just got back from a conference with Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple. These are the stages I'm sharing simply because I invented something that is beyond innovative and industry disruptive. I was invited to teach this at Harvard University in 2013, at UC Berkeley in 2014, and in 2016, San Francisco State University conducted a series of formal studies on the bank methodology, and they came back and said, this is absolutely amazing. This is a game changer. This bank methodology can absolutely predict buying behavior, and they can do it in less than 90 seconds. So Einstein says any fool can complicate things, but it takes a genius to simplify it. What I'm introducing you to, and the reason Omar has scheduled this webinar, is because this is one of the most genius ways to make more money than ever before, is using bank. Now, the reason it works is because of the science. The science I did not invent. It's called personality science. And it proves that people are different. And this dates back thousands of years to Hippocrates, the father of medicine, who basically made the theory famous when he realized he could divide the entire human race into 4 different groups of people. And based on which group you were assigned to, he could treat you differently with medicine. He called this the theory of the 4 temperaments. And when you fast forward to today's world, millions of people have taken some form of a personality type assessment and to figure out which one they are. Some of the more popular ones are DISC or Keirsey Temperament Sorter, MBTI, the color code, etc. And so I want you to type in the chat box if you have ever taken a personality type assessment, type the word yes, okay? Yes, you've taken a personality type assessment, okay? So I have too. And the first few times I did it, it was interesting, it was fascinating. But my fascination quickly turned into frustration when I realized that not one single one of those assessments ever made me more money. Not one of them ever helped me close more sales. And I remember thinking, what's the point of taking all these assessments if they don't make me rich? I mean, I'm in sales for a reason. I want to make a lot more money than a job. And so I started realizing that every assessment was based on who I was, but not who the customer was or why they buy. And that was the missing link. So the missing link, I call it biology, which is the science of buying behavior. At the end of the day, I didn't care about what my customer was from a psychological perspective, which is what all those other ones determined, but from a biology perspective of why they buy, what triggers the yes versus the no in the sales process. And I called my version BANK. So BANK is the acronym that stands for Blueprint, Action, Nurturing, and Knowledge. And what this version does is it predicts buying behavior. We know exactly what makes a customer say yes or no. So what we do is we teach our clients that use the BANK methodology all over the world how to crack the personality code and take it to the bank. Now, cracking the code, I use this device right here, which is called a cryptex. It was made famous in the movie The Da Vinci Code. And you had to spell out a magic password to get the device to open up. And if you could crack the code, you would gain access to a little piece of paper inside that revealed the secret to the Holy Grail. Now, I want you to imagine if what was written inside this device, the secret to the Holy Grail, was exactly what to say to your customer to get a yes versus a no. How many of you would want to crack the code to knowing exactly what to say to your customer to have them want to buy something? So I want you to type into the chat box, crack the code. If you think it's important to gain access to the Holy Grail, which is what do you say to the customer to get a yes versus a no, right? Crack the code in the chat box, right? The challenge is this little device is booby-trapped. Think of it like a ticking time bomb. Because the scroll of paper was wrapped around a fragile little vial of vinegar that was designed to shatter open, the vinegar would leak out, dissolve the papyrus scroll, leaving you with nothing, right? So imagine that this is your customer, and imagine that you're trying to say to them the right things that have them buy your products and services, and during the middle of your presentation, you accidentally crack the vial of vinegar and you destroy the sale, right? Have you ever witnessed that moment where the sale went from a yes to a no right in front of your eyes, right? It's like the worst feeling in the world, okay? So I wanted to figure out how could I crack the code with my customer and how could I figure out what to say to them to get a yes without cracking the vial of vinegar. So Tony Robbins said, let your prospect determine your presentation. And I said, well, wait a minute. If there's 4 different types of people, how many sales presentations should I have? 4. But how many do most people have? 1. And that's the greatest mistake that's happening in the sales process is based on whatever your dominant primary personality type is. Chances are when you're out there speaking to your matching personality type, one of the 4 groups, you're probably going to get a yes. But then I realized, wait a minute, I'm not the other 3 personality types. So when I speak to them, I'm probably saying the wrong thing to the other 3 out of 4 groups, leaving 75% of the money on the table by simply failing to speak the correct code to my customer. So this was a huge game changer for me. And so what BANK is designed to do is to get you 300% better at getting the yeses that you're currently potentially missing by speaking the wrong code to your customer. Okay, so that's how this whole thing works. Now, if you want to know what is it costing you to not know this information, take your last year's income, whatever it was, and triple it. Okay, triple it. So if you made $100,000 last year, when you triple that number, you're going to have $300,000. Whatever your triple number is, that's the amount of money you'd lost last year not knowing this information, right? And it totally sucks. Okay. So type the word yes in the chat box if you would rather have that triple income come to your bank account rather than going to your competitors. Okay, type the word yes if you want to take it to the bank, meaning your bank. Okay. All right. So love your guys' participation here. So let me introduce you to the system. I built BANK to be a system. It's a methodology and a technology that our clients are using all over the world to basically get those yeses and avoid the nos and to be able to do it systematically. So I'm going to give you a quick little orientation about BANK, those 4 personality styles from a buying behavior perspective. And of course, this is not the course. If you love what this system does, then we'll ask you to become a client and study this because of what it can do to help you make more money. So let's start off with the blueprint. I use the color blue. This is kind of a cooler type of person. They're cold to approach most of the time, and they're very conservative inside the box. So when it comes to their buying behavior, they have a very particular buying behavior based on a set of values. The challenge is these values are typically private. They're kept a secret. Most people don't publish them and show them to you. But their buying decisions are being made off of these invisible sets of values. So what bank does is it's shedding light onto your values. For example, the blueprint's going to value, if you look at the words on your screen here, stability, structure, systems, planning, processes, predictability, responsibility, duty, rules, credentials, titles, and tradition. It's a very formal style personality type. If you're late to a meeting with a blueprint, you could crack the bottle of vinegar and lose the deal. And I had that happen to me. 10 minutes late, lost thousands of dollars in revenue. Client says, if this is the way you treat me before you have my money, imagine how I think you'll treat me once you have it. Perfect example of losing a deal with the blueprint, okay? So I started to look for clues of how to recognize them. A blueprint is going to greet you with a formal greeting. If you're face-to-face with them, it's probably going to be a nice firm handshake here in the United States. Nice to meet you. Okay, that's it. Now, the action personality type is totally different. So think of each of the 4 personality types like north, south, east, and west. Totally different directions. The action, I use the color red. These are your movers and shakers and millionaire makers, right? They act like they just drank Red Bull for breakfast. And they're completely outside the box. So very different than the blueprints. And the reason they're different is because their values are totally different. An action values things like freedom, flexibility, spontaneity, action, opportunity, excitement, attention, stimulation, competition, winning, having fun, and they care all about their image. So this personality type has a completely different expectation and an agenda when they do business with you. I've heard action types say the reason I didn't do business with you is based on what you wore to the appointment, right? Or the car you drive. I mean, so your action personality types are judging you on a completely different set of criteria. So what our system did is we documented all of the things that they're judging you on and basing their buying decision on. And there's more than 300 triggers and tripwires. A trigger is what gets you the yes. A tripwire is what gets you the no, okay? So that's what our system reveals. And by the way, when you meet an action, they're not going to be the conservative blueprint handshaking type. They're going to be way more animated, high five type, okay? Now the nurturing personality type, very warm, friendly. I use the color yellow. This is much more warm. Think of it like they've got a heart of gold. They're the ones that recycle the box, okay? And the reason that they're very different is their values are different from the blueprints and the actions. So a nurturing person values things like relationships, authenticity, personal growth, significance, teamwork, involvement, community, charity, ethics, harmony, morality, and contribution. This person cares more about you making a difference than you do about making $1. So your approach to them has to be completely different. And now you're starting to see that it would be foolish to approach a nurturing with what works for a blueprint. It would be terrible to approach a blueprint with what works with an action. Each one is turning the other one off. So this is where you have to have a very delicate balance with how do you customize your sales message or your presentation to them differently, right? And the nurturing personality type, they want to greet you with a hug. They're very warm and friendly, very approachable, amazing people, okay? So that's the third one. Now let's talk about the fourth. The fourth personality type is knowledge. So I use the color green. These people are super analytical, data-driven. Think Microsoft Excel spreadsheet logo is green. Or in the movie The Matrix, the computer code that falls across the screen is green. These are the ones that engineer the box. So of the 4 types, the knowledge type is yet again a completely different version like north, south, east, and west. The knowledge values learning, intelligence, logic, self-mastery, technology, research and development, science, universal truths, expertise, competence, accuracy, and the big picture. So this personality type is typically of the 4, the most difficult to sell to, and they take the longest to make a buying decision, okay? So if you've ever had a customer get stuck in analysis paralysis, chances are they're very high knowledge. And there are specific things that you need to do to get them unstuck and moving forward and closing the sale. And again, those are the things that we've identified with the bank system, okay? So very, very important. When you're approaching them, how would you greet the knowledge personality type? And the blueprints are handshaking, the actions are high-fiving, the nurturings are hugging. And I thought, gosh, does the knowledge even want you to touch them at all? And the truth is they don't. So here's what I came up with. Okay, the Vulcan salute, right? And of course, this is a little bit of my humor. How they prefer to be greeted in real life is with a business card. Don't touch them. Simply hand them your information, right? Which is the form of a card. So these are examples of how this works with the 4 different styles. So when you kind of summarize the bank code and see, wow, this is pretty powerful, I want you to type into the chat box, if you had to pick one of the 4, which one do you identify most with? The blueprint inside the box, very conservative, colder to approach. The action, high five, on fire, outside the box type person. Would you classify yourself as more nurturing, more kind-hearted, want to make a difference versus a dollar? Or the knowledge person that's kind of like the intellectual, logic-driven kind of know-it-all? So, Brigitte, if you could come off mute and tell me what codes are people saying here since...
we have, hey, Cheri, we have knowledge, we have nurturing, another knowledge, another nurturing, another knowledge. It's like nurturing knowledge, nurturing knowledge, nurturing knowledge.
Or is it the same person saying the same thing?
No. And another knowledge.
Okay, so you guys are a bunch of friendly, smart people, right? And so the key is, you've identified kind of what your primary flavor is, but I realized it got a little bit more complex than just one. I started to realize that my customer was not just one of the 4, they're actually a combination of all 4. So each one of you listening is part blueprint, even if it's last, part action, part nurturing, and part knowledge. And that's what makes up your bank code. Now think of a bank code like a pen code, right? It's like if they could be any sequence, your buyer, your customer, then I wanted to know how many codes there were, and there's 24 different codes. If you were to go put your debit card in the ATM machine, you're going to be required to enter a 4-digit pen code if you want money to come out. Well, your customer is the same exact way. If you present to them, if you communicate, if you speak to them in their code, money's probably going to come out in the form of a transaction, a deal, a negotiation. If you don't, probably no money's going to transact, right? So I realized that with 24 codes, I had a 1 in 24 chance, or in other words, roughly a 4% chance of delivering the right presentation. And I had close to a 96% chance of delivering the wrong presentation. And those odds were too staggering. I didn't want to play the numbers game here where I was playing to lose. I wanted to play the game to win. And the truth is, my customer only wins when they consume our product. Like, I really believe that your life is better off when you become a bank client. And the only way to guarantee failure is if you don't invest in the bank system, you don't get the benefits of it. We don't get a new client, and it's a lose-lose. So for you to have ultimate success, you need to be extremely influential with your customers to help them say yes. And you need to give them every reason to say yes, which means you don't want to deliver your presentation the wrong way. So I wanted to crack their code. And I was looking for a way that I could crack my prospect's code, because I knew if I did, we would generate revenue and happy customers as a result of doing that. And I wanted to see if I could find a way that I could crack someone's code in less than 90 seconds. So I've spent time and money and resources trying to figure out how to do this, okay? And I solved it. I cracked the code. So what we ended up creating is a technology where we can actually crack someone's code in less than 90 seconds. And I'm going to have you guys that are doing this live with me actually do it online with me right here. And I'll show you how this works, okay? So we developed a technology called Bank Pass. And the way this works is before we engage our clients, we actually send them to a website. So Brigitte, if you could type the link in the chat box, I want everybody to kind of follow along with me. You go to mybankcode.com/Hoeferle, which is the secret password for this webinar, okay? Hoeferle. And you click on that link in the chat box, and this is going to allow you to go crack your code online to figure out how this works, okay? So let me just give a quick minute. It'll take you 90 seconds or so. What you'll see is 4 different cards when you pull up the link. I know we're in the middle of a live webinar. Pull up the link, and it will allow you to see 4 different cards: the blueprint card, the action, the nurturing, and the knowledge. And on your device, if you're on a desktop or a mobile device, you can drag and drop those 4 cards in the order of your sequence, okay? So drag and drop, whichever you feel is most like you first to least like you. So for example, I'm the red card first, which is action, followed by the yellow card, which is nurturing, followed by the green card, which is knowledge, and the last piece of my card is the blueprint card, okay? So my bank code is action, nurturing, knowledge, blueprint, okay? And when you're done, click submit, and you're gonna fill out your information just like this, a standard little form, okay? So you can do that right now, that way you guys can see how this works. Fill out your information, your name, phone number, email, basic stuff. And we're gonna send you a free gift, all right? Now, Omar these are compliments of Omar, okay? The free gift. He told you were gonna get a bonus for being here live. So the free gift is that normally this is a $97 report that you would have to pay for to do this exercise, but it's already been paid for. That's the access code that you needed to enter, which was the Hoeferle access code, which is in your chat box, okay, if you need it again. So when you're done, click submit, all right? And then what happens is our system is gonna send you a report. You're gonna get an email with a link where you can download your bank code report. And what's cool is we know a lot about you just in 90 seconds because it's based in science, right? And so you're gonna get a report that's gonna tell you all about you. You can check that after the webinar and see how cool it is, okay? But that's not why I built it. We didn't build the technology to send out personality reports. That was not of interest to us. Why we built it is for what happens next. So imagine that you have an appointment with a customer or potential client. Imagine if you could send them a link with an access code. That access code is paid for by our members. It's a monthly subscription. So your monthly membership dues for bank cover the cost of the access code that allows your customer to do this for free, okay? They get a report, compliments of you, $97 gift, awesome. But check this out. If you are the subscriber of this service called Bank Pass, you would get a separate report. And that separate report would give you the top tips about that customer. And they'd say, hey, you just cracked the code of Mr. John Doe. Here's their contact information. Here's their bank code. And here's the top tips of how to communicate, negotiate, and close the sale. So imagine if you had a crystal ball that could drop into your inbox and tell you exactly how to communicate, negotiate, and close the sale with that lead, with that prospect or that client. So that's called Bank Pass. And what's cool is we aggregate all of the data when someone cracks their code online. When you pay for your monthly subscription, you get access to all that data in an online dashboard. And here you can take the data and you can actually use it for marketing purposes with your own database. So imagine if you had a database of 500 customers or 1,000 customers and you send them a link to crack their code. Every person who cracks their code, you collect all the data. And then what our top clients are doing is they're using this to build marketing campaigns where they're communicating and messaging and emailing their clients based on their bank code. So imagine your websites, your video messages, your copy, your autoresponder sequences all built based on someone's code. Because the whole point is if you speak the wrong code, you're turning them off. If you speak the right code, you're turning them on. And so Bank Pass gives you access to all of this data, unlimited for a low monthly fee. So that's our flagship product. So as we kind of pull this webinar towards a conclusion, start asking, gosh, what industries could benefit from Bank? And you see them up here: sales, financial services, real estate, professionals. We've got doctors, attorneys, chiropractors, you name it. Online and internet marketers. Someone like Omar could code his entire database, which is what he's working on now. You can use this in your relationships. The bank code applies in your marriage, your dating, your parenting skill sets, right? If you're a speaker or a coach or an author or a consultant, you can use this. If you're a leader in your company, you use this with how to communicate effectively with people. And of course, if you own a company, it can be used at the enterprise level. So we have clients all over the world using this. And if you know Les Brown, he's a legend. He said, listen, this is a game changer. If you're an entrepreneur or you're a sales professional, what Bank will do for you is strengthen your confidence. Your confidence automatically goes up when you know what to say to the customer that turns them on, right? Imagine just getting yeses in a row. That's what's cool. And expand your selling skills. So if you've ever spent money or time trying to learn how to sell, this is dramatically going to speed up your success and collapse time to save you time and money. And of course, dramatically increase your income, which is the byproduct of using the Bank methodology, okay? So we have success stories that are happening all over the world. Shelly Pereira, $18,000 up in 30 days. Stephanie Bontulibert up $50,000 in 30 days. Robin Edgar, $70,000 in 30 days. Brett Yeager, $56,000 in 90 days. Okay, so you can see kind of the track record. These are different people, different industries using Bank and getting extraordinary results. And of course, you can see why they became clients of ours. So Omar asked me to do a special webinar for his group. We go back several years. I told him I would agree to do that. Normally when I speak in front of audiences of thousands and tens of thousands of people. So for me to do a private little webinar is a very rare thing. But I told him that I would agree to do it to help him out because I felt strongly about giving you guys access to a tool that will set you on the fast track for success, okay? So here's the solution. If you want to become a Bank client, let me show you what we can do for you, and this will become a no-brainer. What we offer is a Bank Pass membership. This is a subscription model. You become a member of Bank Code. This gives you the ability to crack unlimited codes online for $129 a month. Now, there's a $99 activation fee that turns on and sets up your whole account. You get started today, we're going to waive that activation fee, okay? So it's literally month to month, $129 a month. Now with that, you get to crack unlimited codes, okay? So we don't bill you per code that you crack. You could crack 5 codes or 5,000 codes in a month. It's the same $129 fee. But in addition to that, we want to train you. So we're not just a technology company, we're a training company. And we built an entire portfolio of online virtual training, shot it in high quality HD studios, green screen, the whole 9 yards. It's interactive training, which means it's customized to your user experience versus the next person. And we bundled together more than $20,000 worth of courses that are loaded into our Bank Code VT platform. And what's cool is these courses sell separately out there in the marketplace all the time. I speak on big stages and we sell a lot of product. But when you subscribe to Bank Pass, we wanted to take our entire online course curriculum and include it with your membership as a bonus. Okay, so when you subscribe, that's the bonus that you're going to get is unlimited access to every online course that we built. We're going to teach you how to profile someone. We're going to teach you if you're talking to them on the phone, what's their bank code. If you're looking at their social media profile, how do you crack their code? How do you use our tools, our technology? The whole 9 yards is all built into this, including how to build $1 million cash flow business, okay? So the investment is $129 a month. We're going to waive the activation fee. So your investment is literally $129 for 30 days. You can cancel it at any time. It's a month-to-month membership, but hardly anyone ever cancels because it's a no-brainer. And I got one last thing that I want to share with you, and that's for those of you that are looking for extra streams of income. Our concept has gone global through word of mouth marketing. So we ended up building an affiliate program. Omar is an affiliate. I don't blame him. We've got incredible affiliates. Les Brown is an affiliate. I mean, major people are becoming affiliates of bank because it's an absolute no-brainer program. It's innovative. It's industry disruptive. And I love my good friend Robert Kiyosaki. He said, most people get one, maybe two opportunities of a lifetime. So this could be your first. This may be your last, but it's a big one to affiliate with us. Bank Code is growing year after year, dramatically increasing revenue in more than 40 to 50 countries already and scaling. And the reason is because our methodology works all over the world. So if you're interested in earning part-time or full-time additional income, you have the ability to earn while you learn and to be an affiliate. Our affiliate program is a 2-tier affiliate program. There's an annual membership fee of an affiliate of $199. We set you up with your full-blown bank business. You get a bank website, you get an access code, and every sale you make gets tracked back to you. You get paid. And so we love the philosophy. The best way to motivate is compensate. So we built a 2-tier affiliate program. We pay out our affiliates 20 to 25% depending on their sales volume. And if you really ramp it up and you want to go share it with a whole bunch of people, if any of your customers become affiliates, we pay you 10% on their personal sales. So there's leverage that's built into it. And on top of that, if you become a super affiliate and you sell a whole bunch of our product out there, some of you have access to amazing groups and markets. Just today, I was on a conference call with a CEO of a network marketing company that's going to roll out bank throughout their entire network marketing company. You have connections like that, you can get promoted to super affiliate based on volume, and that increases the payout to 40%. So it's crazy the amount of money that you could make getting bank out there to the world. And here's the cool part. When you decide to become an affiliate, your investment in the bank pass actually drops by $30 a month. So instead of $129 a month, you get an employee discount, an affiliate discount, making it $99 a month. So for $99 a month, you get unlimited access to all of the codes you can crack every single month. You get unlimited training, $20,000 worth of online training built into the portfolio. You get a CRM system that's connected. That's actually launching in April. You're going to get that included at no additional cost. And so your investment, if you want to be an affiliate, is $199 plus your first month of $99. Total investment is $298. Okay. So at the end of the day, you have two packages to choose from. The $129 a month is for our retail member. That member is paying for the Bank Pass subscription, as I just described. And for $99 a month, with an annual fee of $199, you can become an affiliate, which means now we're going to pay you to go out there and tell other people about bank and help us expand the word of the global marketplace. Okay. So your Bank Pass would drop down to $99 a month. So to get started, it's very simple. In the chat box, here's what I'd like for you to do. I want you to type a number. The number 3 is thanks, but no thanks. This is not for me. That's very rare. The number 2 is I love it. I'm interested. I have some questions. Would love to talk to somebody. No problem. We have Brigitte on the line with us. She can help answer questions. And the number 1 type of person says, I'm in. I'm ready to take it to the bank. Sign me up. Send me a link. Okay. So type the number in. Number 3 says thanks, but no thanks. Number 2 says, I love it. I got some questions. Want to talk to somebody. Number 1 says, I'm in. Oh, sign me up. Send me a link. Let me take it to the bank. For those of you that are number 1s, you have 2 choices. Okay. So if you type number 1 in the chat box, here's your 2 choices. You can be a member, which is $129 a month, or you can be an affiliate, which is $99 a month plus the $199 annual fee. Okay. So if you typed in the number 1, go ahead and type member or affiliate so that you can show us which one you're interested in. And that way we make sure that we send you the right links to get you access to the product. We'll waive the activation fee. That'll save $99 today. And Brigitte, could you let me know what the numbers are that are coming in?
I need to unmute myself, sorry. One person that I don't want to butcher his or her name says, I'm not ready for it yet. Need more time. And there are several others that put in ones. I'm one of them. And then we have several that put in number threes that probably need more information.
Okay, cool. So this is the end. And what I'd like for those of you that are number one and you want to get started, Brigitte, if you'll just put in the link of where they go to, bankcode.com, to subscribe. And we're going to need, you can work with them to get an access code to get them signed up. And if you have a question, now's the time to put it in the chat box. I'll stay on for 1 or 2 more minutes. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. If this is not for you, my apologies, because it's a bummer. You know, like maybe you didn't quite get something. If you have questions, ask me. That makes you a number 2, not a number 3. Okay. So the most successful top producers in the world use this methodology, and this is our attempt to introduce you to something that gives you access to cutting edge success. So what questions do you have? Any questions?
I have some things, Cheri, if it's okay. Can I? Yeah. Awesome. Well, first, thank you for putting this whole thing together. This is like really, really powerful stuff. And thank you for sharing Bank with, the world. This is like truly revolutionary. All of you guys watching, I'm sure you agree. If you can convert 3 times, even just 1 time or 2 times, what you're converting right now, it can totally change your life. So this is a complete no-brainer. That's why I joined. And so with that said, Cheri, I wanted to ask you, for things like this, like presentations where you're teaching in front of a group, like live in person or on a webinar, we have a combination of all kinds of different bank codes in the audience. I'm just curious, what would you suggest to someone to impact the right people to say yes, and without turning off the people that might not get your message, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
Well, how do you pitch everyone?
The key is to speak all 4 codes when you're in a group presentation, because you probably have all 4 codes present. So one of the things that we do is we never do a presentation without knowing the codes up front. So we use our own technology to crack codes when people register for our different events, so we know what codes are coming. At the registration process, if you're doing live events, we crack their codes. We put the code on the name tag. We communicate, and we use our own methodology. And then, of course, we train all of our clients how to deliver a message where you're speaking 4 languages at the same time. And that's what Bank does. So if you do not have trained ears, it may appear that I've only spoken 1 language during the presentation, English. If you have trained ears, I was actually speaking 4 languages. And so I spoke blueprint, I spoke action, I spoke nurturing, and I spoke knowledge throughout the entire webinar. And you would only be able to catch it if you were trained on that. So if you've ever met someone that's charismatic, extremely influential, they have learned to speak all 4 codes, and that's what our system will teach.
Right on. All right, and is there any way to identify, like, let's say if the bank code didn't exist, or the technology to help let them crack their code, if that didn't exist, like what would you do to identify someone's type or someone's code?
Well, we came up with a way that we do this live. In person. So I built a set of 4 cards that I would use with my customers. And I, just like the digital version, I would have them sort the 4 cards and hand them back to me. And Brigitte, feel free to put the information up there if people want to buy those 4 cards. They're normally $100 a set. You can get them for $25. That includes shipping. If you do the PayPal link here with Brigitte. And then, of course, our training is going to teach you a technique called speed coding, Omar, where we'll teach you how to deduce what their code is, even if you've never met them before.
Right on. Cool. And just a quick question on the CRM, because that really interests me the most. This is some really high-tech stuff. I'm really excited. So when they crack their code, just so I understand this and everyone else understands this, when they crack their code with the website, the technology, then they're added to the CRM, and in the CRM tells you their code, their phone number, their information, their contact info. And then does it also do like emailing? Can you like email them like, certain autoresponders, or,
Well, what's cool is if you're a Bank Pass subscriber, you're going to get the CRM, and you'll be able to use our autoresponder emails to invite everyone in your contact manager to crack their code. And then if you are an affiliate, you get access to a whole bunch of additional email campaigns that would then introduce that customer to Bank, and when they buy Bank, you get paid. So we fully automated the entire sales process.
Right on. And we can, I imagine we can use this for our own products, right? We can send them.
Yeah, you'll need your own email campaign manager, but ours will give you access to all of the CRM contacts that you're cracking the code, and it has something that no other CRM system in the world has, including Salesforce, which is the bank code. And the bank code, it's going to load in all of the top communication negotiation tips for those people so that you know what to do with them. It doesn't do you any good to have a whole bunch of leads. If you don't know how to communicate, negotiate, or close the sale with those leads, it's the equivalent of having nothing, right? And that's the key to Bank.
Right on. All right. Well, are there any other questions from anyone in the audience? Go ahead and put it in the chat box, please. If not, we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it here. Thank you again, Cheri. This was like super, super helpful. And those of you watching the replay, those of you on here live and watching the replay, definitely click on that link and sign up as soon as you can, because this is truly revolutionary. It's gonna start increasing your sales right now. Starting, as soon as you start implementing the bank code. I promise you're going to get a lot more results. And I actually have one more question. Andromachi says, how can she use the system? So Andromachi, just to clarify, that is the offer with the training and the software. It's all integrated. It's all in one. It's over $20,000 worth of training and the CRM, the software. It's all in one. So it comes out to $199 a year, $99 a month. Hold on a sec. So Andromachi is saying, actually, all right, so if she doesn't have a list, so I guess the question is, how can someone use the system without a list?
Well, you don't need a list. You use it in your everyday conversations. If you're talking to someone on the phone, I might say, hey, Omar, go to this link real quick, right? Or I'm going to use the skill set of, I know what your code is because I'm trained on the system. I know how to communicate with you differently, right? The whole thing is, if you don't use this communication tool with people, you're leaving 300% of your revenue on the table. So for those of you that put threes right now, let me just share with you quickly what this is costing you not to do it, okay? It's triple your income. So if you take your last year's income, if you made $100,000 last year and you triple it, the $300,000 is the amount of money you lost last year not knowing this science. Now, I don't go speak and teach this at Harvard University and all these places all over the world because it doesn't work. I teach it because it does work. So I'm really surprised to see the threes that are coming out of you, and I'd be curious as to why you're saying three. Maybe it's an affordability issue. You can't afford it, but you want it. Or is it that you're not seeing the value of it? I would love to know that, because maybe there's something missing.
Right on.
And Brigitte, while you're here, Brigitte is kind of facilitating this webinar. She's a client of Bank and one of our top trainers. So while you guys that are putting number threes there, if you would come out here and answer, just be transparent, why you're a number three, why this isn't for you. I'm curious about this. And Brigitte, I'd love for you to share your experience of using Bank.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Cheri. And thanks, Omar, for having me. I'm in education, or I was in education. I sold my business. And I have been training and coaching for several years. And that's how Omar and I know each other. And it's something that I didn't even know I needed, but now looking back, as I built my first business, I thought, man, I should have had that in the beginning, because it would have made my life a lot easier when it comes to relationships, and it would have made my sales process a lot smoother. Now it takes the whole guesswork out. I don't have to assume anymore which code someone is and how am I adapting my communication, which doesn't mean I'm not authentic. It's just very respectful that, you know, I'm German, and even as a German, I don't go to France and speak German. That's a big no-no. As an American, you shouldn't go to Germany and speak English. You should really adapt the language of the other, and that's what bank is all about. It's adapting the language of the other due to respect, and actually due to giving them more value, and so they can actually understand that you're giving them more value. So that's why it made it for me a no-brainer. And I've been going through the entire virtual training and the in-person training as well. And I'm here for you. I'm here for Omar. If you have any questions, even after this webinar, reach out to Omar. We'd love to get on the phone with you and answer those questions for you. A no is really not a no. A no is just hey, give me more information, and we're here to do that for you.
Right on. All right. Thank you, Brigitte, for sharing that. And thank you again, Cheri. Cheri, you got unmuted. I mean, you were muted, so just so you know.
And there was another question by Andromachi.
Yeah, I'll read the question. The question is, how can we be sure that people will answer truthfully with those cards, or or putting them in order?
Well, first of all, there's no reason to mislead. It's based on values, and values are intrinsic to people. So there's no benefit to misleading you on what's important to them. And number two, if someone did that with our training, you'd be able to read right through it, right? So that's the point of understanding the training. That's like saying, well, I really speak Arabic, and then you try to speak Arabic to me and I don't understand anything in Arabic. I don't speak Arabic, okay? So, the key to understanding this, and I saw what Vera said, you must have missed something. I'm going to say, yes, you did. I'd go back and watch the webinar, because this is not a personality profiling system. If it was, I would not have needed to invent it. There's dozens of them that are out there on the market, and none of them were helpful to me either. The whole reason I built Bank was to reverse engineer the concept, because every personality typing system out there always told me who I was, and they never told me who the buyer was. And I wanted to know if I could figure out who the buyer was, and if what makes one person say yes makes another person say no. So Bank is the only system in the world that can tell you why someone says yes or no in the sales process, linked back to personality science, and we can determine that in 90 seconds. So if you captured the gist of what this is about, in 90 seconds, we can predict someone's buying behavior.
Right on. And I also want to just point out, Andromachi, when somebody, like if you're meeting someone in person, what Bank is basically you're meeting, if you met them in person, it's just you asking them like, what's important to you? So it's just finding out what's important to them. What do they value? So, they're going to tell you what they value so that you can help them get what they want. That's why they're going to answer truthfully, because they want to be served in their own way. They want to get what they want. That's my way of explaining it. I'm not sure if that made sense. Hopefully it did.
Yeah. And for those of you, if you're not ready for this type of a training, then go get the book. I recommend that you buy the book, Why They Buy. You can get it right off the website. And the book is going to give you a really great understanding of this quick webinar. I got to jump. It's the top of the hour, and I got a lot of things I got to do. But if you want a copy of the book, you can grab a copy of the book there. And if you're ready to get access to the training, this special access code that we're going to give you is going to save you $99 on signing up. And you'll get access to one of the best trainings in the entire industry. So it's month to month. Worst case scenario, you sign up for 30 days, go through all of our training and say it's not for me, but chances are you'll become a raving fan like we have all over the world. So Omar, I want to thank you. Good luck to you. and using the methodology. Any questions, Brigitte has the ability to answer that. We'll take good care of all your people. And we look forward to helping you guys crack the personality code and take it to the bank.
All right. Thank you, Cheri. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brigitte. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Omar. Thanks, Cheri.
Okay.
Ciao.
Bye, guys.